Good morning, everybody. This is Sean from Artifact Gaming and Art, and today we're going to be getting right into it. We're just going to be doing some drawing on our Godzilla piece, and then a little bit later we're going to be getting into our paintball piece. You ever have one of those days when you actually are doing some artwork and you go, hey, you know what, I could do a better job, or something didn't go right, and you just want to go ahead and fix it because it's bugging the living crap out of you? That's the day I was having yesterday. I was looking at my artwork and I was seeing the background on this dragon paintball gun I've been working on, and it was driving me insane. So today we're going to go ahead and fix a little bit of a problem with the background in that, and then we're going to go ahead and continue and expand on with that, and then we're going to go ahead and flip it over, and we're going to go ahead and do a dragon gun that's actually not an ice dragon. It's going to be a fire dragon. I think you guys are going to enjoy that. I'm just going to show you really quick the artwork that we've got here. So give me just 1 second. Artifact screen. There we are. Hope you guys can hear me all right today. Sounds like my desktop audio is not working though, so give me just 1 second here. We're gonna put this multi-output device right here, and then we should have some music playing as well. Just 1 second here. Boop. Let's try. Oh, there we go. Get a little bit of the music coming through at least. That sounds a little bit better, I think. I think. All right, there we go. So guys, yeah, as I said, we're working on this Godzilla piece right here. Of course, my pen driver has to start up too, which means I have to hit this over here. There we go. Okay. Really like this drawing tab, but it's a little bit finicky when it comes to those types of things. Let's see. Make sure I've got my tools the way that I want them for right now. I do. Couple things I want to do here. I want to go ahead and expand more of this glow stuff throughout this guy's body. And I need to get a helicopter in here, and then we actually need to start coming up with a background idea as well. So I think what I want to do is I want to play around with just some loose background ideas first. I was thinking about like it'd be kind of cool to have like a shoreline one where, you know, you've got the like that ocean surf shoreline kind of coming through here, the waves, so it's clear that he's been walking. And then maybe it could be like a coastal city, so you'd have beginnings of like a city over here or something along those lines. You know, some intersecting roads, that type of stuff. And then in my original artwork, we had like a little helicopter. I want him to kind of look at that idea, and we're not really going too hard with this, just normal crush it is, okay. 50%, do I have my fade on? No transfer, that's one of the issues, it's not really transferring, is it? Shape dynamics. Oh. Okay. So a little squared off. So these are just like some loose lines that I'm just kind of like ellipse to represent like maybe the chopper blades themselves doing their thing. Although I can't imagine any helicopter would actually try and get that close to the snout of something this big. Yeah, well, guys, I hope you're having a good morning. I know I am. It is a beautiful Saturday. I've got a ton of stuff to do. Hey, Steph, thanks for the like on the stream. Appreciate you. Much love. Where are my alerts showing up, though? Oh, that might have been that. Gotcha. There we go. Okay. Sorry. Checking some things out. So I don't know, I'm thinking about something like that for this background right here, but right now we still have some details to finish on Godzilla himself. I kind of feel like we need to go ahead and get some more glow in there, so we're going to go ahead and do that. And then I also had a few things on Godzilla himself that wanted to for instance, kind Get a few little details here. It's a little bit bigger. Again, guys, once again, you're joining Artifact Gaming and Art. We're just having some fun here with this guy right here. Trying to get a few more details in. Trying to get some crinkle. I think I want some like actual crinkle in this guy right here. So I'm gonna try and get like some highlighty bits. Nothing too strong, but just like a few ridges in here as well. Back through. Maybe that's too strong on that, but maybe we can tone that down some a little bit. I want to get like a textured feel to this chest plate that's got, you know, like it rises up and down and kind of has like some craculature to it. So one of those things. So I'm trying to get that feel. Just want to look a little more chaotic, not so platedly like uniform. So that's kind of what I'm going for right now. It's just kind of trying to get that a little more cracked up, a little more insane looking. A little more texture like that right there actually works really well. Like, yes, these are plates, and yeah, we'll go ahead and shadow that out, but I definitely want it to be more texturized or ridgy and just kind of insane looking. I don't know. Make a better sense of that. and use the multiply brush, and that's going to go ahead and darken that side because it would be a little bit more under the chest than this side. But at least we're getting a little bit more texture. I'm still going to sharpen that up a little bit. But let's get that multiply brush going right here. Right here, so it's not going to be over the top. It's still going to darken. But what I failed to do is I failed to mask it off. So what that means is that the darken all into. So we'll go ahead and back to that. Just lasso tool over here and do that. There we go. So we faded that down a little bit. Excuse me. Whew, I need some coffee, y'all. Yo, Mr. Mayhem OG. Thank you so much, my guy. Thank you on Twitch. Appreciate you so much. I hope you're doing well, sir. Or ma'am, I don't, probably sir, I'm Mr. Mayhem, right? So there we go. Got it right. I'm a dork. Sorry, bud. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, so this was inspired by, originally by the, Project Monarch stuff in what's it's in Call of Duty, and I thought I'd just do like a cool kaiju thing. I hear we're getting Terminator coming through in Call of Duty. That's super exciting. It's gonna be a fun one. Maybe I can do a Terminator piece or something like that. I think we could have some good times with that. I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit. It may at first make things look sloppy, but then we're gonna sharpen it out. That's gonna be great. So yeah, this is the other part of Artifact Gaming and Art. We do, you know, some quick scoping and some fun with that, and then we go ahead and do this thing right here. And I love doing both, so either way, I'm happy, and it's a good Saturday morning. And we're actually gonna be jumping into some client work too. I've got another really cool one, my brother. Here, I'll show you right now. So this is a dragon piece that I'm working on, and I've got to blast the city with ice because this is supposed to be like an ice dragon. And this background dragon I'm not necessarily so happy with, so kind of one of the things I want to do is address that. I've got some things I want to fix on it, and then I want to move on, and we're making a fire dragon gun too. This like weird shape that you see around here is actually for a gun body for a paintball gun, so that's kind of neat. I think it's super great. This is for my client Paintball Wizard. But right now we're just doing a little bit of warm-ups, working on this guy right here, working on kind of breaking up this plating a little bit. Like, I still want an overall sense of plating, but I also want it to be far more chaotic. And so I'm just laying in some line work here to kind of give that sense that's all more up-down texture. So thanks again, Mr. Mayhem OG, for dropping in. Appreciate you on Twitch there. Anybody else who's there, say hi in the chat, man. I love to talk. I love to hang out with you guys. I love doing all this stuff. This is definitely a project that's been around for a little while, and one that I want to go ahead and keep building up until it looks absolutely insane. And then I've got to get this background going, so we're not just sitting on the gray, which is like the gray we use when I use, excuse me, and other artists sometimes use for their like concept design background and stuff like that. That's what that's all about. It's not going to all be gray all the time, though, and we've got to go ahead and get an idea about what we want to do. I'm still not quite sure, so like that little line work in the background is just kind of like loose idea sketch. Completely sure. So what this is going to do, too, is having all this crackulature across the plates allows for a lot of interesting opportunities for that glow to kind of spread a little bit further out, which I wanted to definitely do for a multitude of reasons. I think that looks really cool. I think we have a slight little issue that I'm gonna have to deal with right now, though, which is that this kind of comes far, like the pec kind of comes too far into the shoulder bicep area. So we're gonna probably go ahead and hit that right now too while we're at it. Just nerf that, so to speak. Hope you guys can hear me all right today. Slight correction there. We're gonna go ahead and just kind of clean that up. Continue the line work to go around that. That's a little bit better. It was bugging me quite a bit. Kind of smudge that around a little bit. Change the way that it's looking. I don't know, I think that does look better. Let me go ahead and do the same thing. Same thing. Mask. Maybe a little bit differently than that, though. There we go. Go over to my soft brush. Drop this into multiply real quick. Grab just a normal drab green. Just kind of shadow in there so it kind of drops over. You won't see that difference, but it does make one. Okay, so now let's get back to the crackmature across the chest real quick. We're gonna do this for probably another 20 minutes or so, and then we're gonna move on to the dragon paintball gun that we were working on. Right now, I'm just coming along all these areas where I've added those cracks. I'm trying to get like risen spots, so I'm adding highlights, adding surface and plane changes, that type of stuff. And I'm not being too sharp about it. I could use like my lasso tool and like really get in there and be like, let's try it again with a higher highlight color. You know, really sharp, but that can jump out of the eye a little bit, and I'm not sure that I want that quite that sharp yet. Like for instance, we've got this square bit here though, and I can say, oh, okay, well let's hit an edge like that, just to give it, you know. So now you have like that ridge. You get the idea though, like that's kind of where we're headed with this. probably should put some tags in my posts. I'm not very good with the social media stuff. That's alright. That's alright. You know, I do this mostly because I love just doing artwork. If you like it too, that's fine. Hit the like button on the stream, hit the follow button on the stream. Depending on what platform you're on, I appreciate every single one of you, Mr. Mayhem. Again, thank you very much, buddy. Thanks for the gas, as they say. Okay, let's see, what time is it? Yeah, 10, 15 more minutes. So we gotta speed this up a little bit. So I'm gonna come in here on this side. Go. You can see I'm just like sampling all kinds of different tones from this. Trying to just get some variability in what we're doing, and then I'm gonna come back and like crack all this up. But like I said, I do have to speed this up, so make my brush a little bit tinier there. But I don't want to go too tiny. I also don't want to zoom in too much. And probably I'm a little bit too zoomed in as it is right there. Alright, let's get some glows going, shall we? So, it's not an overlay layer. Alright, so this means I need to put this into color dodge mode. We need to get a sample of this right here. Bring it down over here. Okay. Now, I don't want to overdo it, but definitely wanted to spread that out just a little bit more. So using the color dodge tool basically creates like little highlights inside the same color too. So it like just heightens everything. These little pops of like white / cyan. Definitely a fun way to do things. And let's see, last minute touches before we move on from the warm up. I like for the most part how it's turned out. I think I'm gonna go ahead and hit like a couple pieces here. Then I'm just gonna experiment real quick. Do something a little crazy. See what we can do to add. See if this activates anything in the shadows. Like if I throw in a little bit of warm here and there in the shadows, if that is gonna be a good effect or not. It's on color dodge. No wonder I wouldn't see it. I think that might be too much. I feel like we're losing a lot of definition here in the arm too. Like I don't want it to be completely. It's fine to do some of that detail loss, but like we've got all this crackletture, so I feel like maybe just a little bit more like a light highlighting, so we understand. Or I see the consistency between what we got going on up here and through these arms. Okay, I think that looks good. Leo! It's my puppy. Hi, buddy. What's going on? Hi. Yeah, nice to see you, bud. I'd lift him up, but he gets a little sensitive sometimes, so I don't want to do that and have him yelp or anything like that. Hey guys, I will be right back. I'm going to let him outside real quick. Right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, take me a second. Had to let the dog outside. I'm sure you understand, y'all. It's my pen. Alright, so, the last thing I want to do here... Oh, I wasn't done with glows. Let's get back on those glows real quick, because I see some areas that I'd like to have be a little more intense. So... That's not gonna work what I want. Okay, and then normal. Right here. I experiment with something here to see. I think that might be too much. A little too thick, so I'm gonna drop that down to 10 pixels. Try and get some of that fine separation in there. Not to mention some of the detailing that you have there anyway. Hard not to get it pulled in, so I need to stop in a second here. Work on my client work. That's the problem with warm-ups, though, is you get sucked into all the details that you want to address. Still feel like here the wrinkling could be more extensive too. You know, like the majorly gnarly, wrinkly, crazy beast creature. feel like what we've got indicated on this nostril is not indicated over here, so I'm trying to transparency lock off, maybe get a bigger intrusion up here. This dark line and kind of put over the snout like that. This one, do the same thing, kind of continue the patterning we have set up in the other one. Better. You can see, and not at all the times do I conform to like the topographical stuff. Like I loosely do, but I'm not really completely doing that. I just want to add areas of interest, detail, type of stuff here too. Okay. And though I want to continue here, I really should get to work on the actual paintball gun artwork, which I'm super excited about as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a decent stopping point. The last thing I'm gonna do for this piece is I'm gonna go ahead and reference some beaches from the air. So I just want to see different beach shots from the air real quick, and I'm gonna put these images into our I'm not gonna use them as a permanent background, but I'm gonna put them in as reference so that I have that layer above everything else, so I can look at things and say, okay, so this is how a beach looks from above at like an off angle or something like that. Like here, for instance, if I reference coastline image. Again, I'm not going to use these in the image. I am simply just taking some internet grabs and using these for reference. So I just want to get this next piece up, because what I'm going to end up doing, of course, is I'm going to have those on there. Just kind of, and they don't have to be super high quality images, because I'm just looking for the rough feel of things. So any people, tiny dots, things like that. These things are going to help me with my picture in the end. So maybe do like Hawaii. Beaches. Maybe this will work. Oh yeah, there we go. See, this is gonna be super helpful. So we got this guy right here. And obviously angle is going to be different, but it's going to at least give me some ideas. Definitely using this. Those colors are, whew, I like those colors. Let's see what else. I'm going to get one more Honolulu from the air. Let's go. Okay. Okay, so now I've got some good city references, like coastal beach line reference for this. So I'm going to go ahead and close these up. This is where we're going to leave Godzilla for right now. Label this photo F. There we go. Alright, so now at least I've got some good like indicators of what I want to do. If I was smart and I knew how to use Blender better, I would probably do like a Blender city on the coastline. Pop that in there, but I'm not that good at that yet, so we're not going to go there. But onward to the second piece. So, the things that I wanted to majorly address here, I've already talked to my client about this, is I think I'm going to redress this dragon, really. I don't particularly like him at this point in time. I think he looks a little cheesy, a little like anatomically weird, especially with how detailed this dragon is. I don't know that we need more detail, but this just looks funky, not right yet. So I'm going to push that off to the background. The first thing I'm going to do is save a new iteration. I try to save iteratively as often as possible. Sometimes I forget to and I just start working, and that can be a bad. So we want to go ahead and make sure we don't do that. Pencil right here. It's still working, which is great. The other thing I wanted to do is I want to go ahead and get the buildings kind of coated in ice once I've got this this dragon the way that I want them. So real quick, I'm just going to go ahead and start laying in some lasso work and see if I can't get like a feel for the type of line I want for my dragon. Ain't gonna look like much. It'll look like a squiggle. That's exactly what it is. But from this, we can kind of start loosely getting a better idea of what we want. This dragon body looks like it's like it goes out to a thick shoulder, and that's fine. I've got like this frill type thing, but I want this as a better explanation of what's going on here. To give you an example, we did some pre-sketches that led to this head being on the gun right here. Let me see, open recent, dragon, revision 4. See what I'm talking about, revisions. This is the original sketch. This is what came off of that original sketch. You can see it's got like still the 3 nostrils. It kind of has that flared out head right there. Irregular kind of jawline on the top mandible, lower mandible. Obviously, we really expanded here. I think I still am going to be putting some ice cubes along, or ice lactites along dragon, both on the upper and lower mandible. I also don't know if I'm just going to leave these pure white or if I'm going to go ahead and experiment with those and make them more crystalline. So that's kind of some thoughts here too, but that's getting way into it right now. One of the major things I wanted to address was just this dragon head in general. It's going to be low detail just because excuse me, because it's going to be very, excuse me, just trying to concentrate here, thinking about what I'm doing. Because it's going to be, as you can already see that we've kind of got some, at this resolution, which is 300 DPI, we've got some rasterization going on. So I can't really go into high detail, but I can do some shading on the figure. I can go ahead and see if I can't get some atmospheric perspective worked in, a number of different things to kind of really make sure that we're getting across some very valuable information to our viewers. So that's kind of where we're at right here. That tail's gonna have to get longer, I think. Even. Just fine by me. I wanted the tail to kind of come through. Here. And then we're gonna have to do something special for that tail too. You can see I'm trying to get my deep brush out here and try and alter the shape a little bit. Wrong button. Try that again without being stupid. You can already see a major difference between the two. So like, that thing looks cartoony. This thing does too, but it's not. It's just a little bit more. We've thought the design out of the body a little bit more to fit the composition, I think. We're going to be continuing to add detail to this. Maybe a bigger wing. You know, already we're seeing some differences though. Like, move some placement items right here. Maybe get him even closer to the city. Not too close because I do want to show him like blasting his breath across these three buildings right here, which would lead the eye into the dragon that's over here as well. So these are some thoughts that I have to kind of keep in mind while I'm composing this all together. And one of the things I could have done too, of course, is done a little more composition sketching, but I feel like we kind of had a firm idea of what we wanted, the client and I, when we started. So I felt pretty comfortable in just kind of composing on this canvas, so to speak. So there's that, kind of picking that up, and then I also want to maybe too thick, but I want some sort of spikeage going on. Just cleaning this up as we go. Again, this time I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of something different here. Put this down here. This will be our second wing, our behind wing. I think actually what I'll do is, just for expediency, I'll take a duplicate of this wing, alter it as needed. So I'll copy that. Should be change the angle a little bit. Put that right up here. We'll keep those separate for right now. We'll probably drop those together soon. Or we could go ahead and do another one real quick. So maybe this one comes out flatter like so. Obviously, we would go ahead and let's just level that so we have a little bit of a difference. You can at least see some small contrast, so level that again. Levels again. And now we don't actually have a dragon, we've got a freaking wyvern. It doesn't have any arms. Pretty soon here I'm going to have to take a break and cook breakfast for the kids and for the lady. Looks a little derpy, doesn't it? And the thing we wanted to avoid. So even though this just looks like a blob, what we're really doing is we're accounting for some of the anatomy of the dragon. That's kind of why we're drawing them in these segments, even though in the end what you get is this merged together blob. But it's going to allow me, in my thinking, to really clear that up and make sure that I've got something in place that's going to be a little bit better than that. I'm going to make coffee here. Eating a sip. Ooh. Alright. Stats real quick here. Make sure everything's good. Make sure the stream's going alright. Yes, it's good. So we also are presented with the unique challenge because we've got this tail here. We need to figure out, like, you know, I mean, everything was sketched on a close-up of the chest and neck. So, like, the autonomy, or the anatomy, not autonomy. The anatomy of our guy is really based on what I can see here. That's going to give us an idea of what's going on with the rest of the dragon's body. And looking at the dragon head sketch, the frilled dragon right here, I want to go with maybe particularly spiny along the neck. The reason for that is, of course, that we have a completely different anatomy for our fire dragon, which you guys have not really seen unless you've been tuning in, which not many have. We want to give that spininess, and we're going to go all the way across here. So using my lasso tool and kind of really like the idea that these spines can move on this one. Like, you can already see just doing that, giving it that type of repetition, really allows me to change the silhouette into something that looks a little bit more segmented and a little less blobby. That other one was just so blobby, and I think I was being a little bit lazy, so I wanted to change that. That's the big thing that I wanted to do on this one. Another thing I can do is get rid of the city just to make sure everything's looking alright there. And as you can see, as I go along the back, these spines aren't going to completely disappear, but they are going to get small. So, give them and keep that perspective. Almost like a furred edge, but they're not furred. They're all little micro spines. Vertebrae. Who cares? We're getting at this kind of tiny depth. We don't really need to be totally crazy about anything. Take the city off right now just so I can see what I'm doing on this piece. Some of the cool things I like to really think about are the details that go into the dragon that most of the viewers won't really ever get a chance to understand. Like, for instance, I'm thinking about the anatomy of this dragon right now. I'm thinking, okay, so he's gonna have frilly spines, basically, like, you know, they frill out, they change with the way that the dragon contracts or raises its, you know, neck line or whatever it's doing, right? And that's gonna allow me to think about cool things like a tail. So on the tail end, what do we got over here? What's going on? What's the purpose and function of this ice dragon that we're making right here? Said we're still gonna add some like ice stalactites come off his jaws, plural. But over here, like, and we've got these frilly spines that react here. We know that this guy has gills because he breathes in and shoots out this ice that's hyper cooled at a high velocity. Like, those are the types of things that kind of, like, I love concepting when I'm doing this type of stuff. Like, my brain just kind of wanders. And really, it kind of slows me down, like, a little bit, because I tend to be a little ADHD-ish, I think, probably. Like, if I went into a doctor, I'm fairly sure they would agree with that. Okay, so, but we're not just gonna leave the tail like this. Like, that's fine, right? Looks good. We can see an indication of like a leg and like a foot kind of curled up underneath here, and like some bulk, some muscle here, all of that. But how do we make the tail something a little bit more interesting or a little more specific? And one of the things I'm looking at doing is like, okay, so can it throw spikes? Would it be like a dinosaur tail? Would it be in some way really cool like that? So like, we're gonna go ahead and experiment with like putting off some sort of like structure. You know, maybe it has a tail that's whip-like and can drop that in there. Guys, by the way, if you're dropping in and saying hi, or dropping in and just watching, say hi in the chat. Hit that like button, hit that follow button if you're on Facebook. These are all just kind of like the ideas that I'm running around in my head, and it's always nice to see some people, you know, dropping in, saying hi, hanging out with my buddies. Most of the people on my streams are friends, family, that type of stuff, and I love each and every one of you. I'm not sure if that's the play right here, but I think I might make that back spike a little more brutal looking. Cool, so now we got something going on, right? Like, I mean, we built a silhouette that actually has some pieces that your brain starts to like play around with the shapes a little bit. It's not so basic as the other one that I did. And being willing to come back and revisit a piece like this really is important. Let me show you that. So this is what we started out with. We were just kind of, oh, we need a background dragon, so I just kind of quickly lumped that in there. And clearly the difference is huge. So I don't know. I'm gonna get rid of that layer. Yep, get rid of that layer because this guy looks far better, far better. Now I am gonna pay a little bit of attention to the city now. So we've got our dragon group, and we'll come back. We're gonna revisit that. This is a city that clearly has been ravaged, that is damaged, and in this case it's been hit by an ice dragon, right? So we need some way of showing all of that. We need to coat this thing in ice. We need to slick it up, put some cool stuff down. And I'm gonna be experimenting a little bit. I've done a little bit of ice drawing before, but it's always good to just kind of be willing to play a little bit in your drawings as well. Obviously you want your clients to be happy. Also, I'm going to be getting rid of a couple of these strands too, so we have like a more broken and tattered bridge going on over here too. Also, what that will do is it'll allow the silhouette of the dragon to stand out, even if we change the color to, you know, like a blue or whatever, like a faint blue or like a darkish blue or something like that along those lines. It will really make a huge difference in doing just this little bit right here. So I think with this one, maybe we'll cut a line across everything else, like maybe it's waving, flapping in the air or something like that. It also allows us a little more clarity in the city silhouette here. Start working that idea out really smart. This city is probably going to go much lighter than it is right now, but we are just using this black silhouette to get the information across. But that might not, and I do have to take into account, you know, there's a dragon there, so can I really flap that around? Is that even going to serve a purpose? Probably not. However, maybe back here we can, depending on where that dragon is. So, see that we've got this guy right here. Maybe we can kind of put the right layer and do something like that. But with something so mechanically oriented, I'm just going to go ahead and do this guy, a different brush basically. So that I have a consistent, my transfer off, my flow all the way to 100 on the brush so it's opaque. Just gonna make sure I've got something I need for it. Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off like so, and then I'm gonna hit that like that. So we'll get rid of this line right here. Hopefully not ruin anything else when we do that. Might do a few of those, kind of like whipping in the wind, which would have to be some strong winds, I would assume. But if you have like the full force of a dragon flying right past a bridge, you might get that kind of gale force velocity to do something along that line to a steel cable, suspension cable for a bridge. And that's the thing. I'm thinking about all of these details while I am sketching this out and going at it. The other thing that's going to probably have to happen is because I do have lighting here, every one of these strands is probably going to have a little bit of that kind of detail and attention paid to it as well. And it is sometimes a pain in the ass, and sometimes you really don't like it, but you know what? In the end, the payoff is always the thing you got to think about. Is this ass does do it? Too much to any visual confusion or anything along those lines. Some of this is going to roll up a little bit and kind of fade at the top. Client understands that, and it's going to have to be okay with it being a full scene that just kind of fades at the top. But what we really will see, and I'm going to go ahead and put the no detail check along here. So this is always something that I need to do too, is because this is a very specific template. So these no detail guides kind of give me an excellent idea of where I can and can't put things. For instance, my dragon head needs to shrink down just a tiny bit so that it's not losing itself to the curvature of the gun, for instance. That's one of the things we try to assure ourselves that what we're not doing is that. I think that should be good right there as far as that goes. I'm not too worried about up here. Like, this is, again, background detail is not something I freak out too much about, because that's exactly what it is. It's a background piece for the gun. So, we're not freaking out about that at all. But this is definitely our ice dragon. I think I want another white stripe on the dragon's face too, so I may go back to my 600 DPI one. And I always like to do this in the higher res. Because I can transfer it over, it's going to be consistent, and he may want to use this for a promo image or something along those lines when we're done, so I like to give him the option. Again, I need to put transfer on. I need to put my flow down to 50 again. Okay. That's why it's not in overlay mode. maybe even one more. Yeah, my fantasy artwork playlist just stopped. I need to get that fixed too. There we go. Just looking a little bit better. So we'll probably transfer him over, but there are some more adjustments that I'm probably going to make this guy too, because I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm thinking about making this a little more crystalline, which... Whew. My RoboVac is stuck. I'll be right back, guys. Throw some music on for you for just a second while I do that. A little bit different. This is my gaming stream music, but it's next playlist up. Let's go. Hope you guys can hear me all right. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Day, whatever. I'm usually used to streaming at night, but I try to change that up. I was doing a morning session called... Oops. I was doing a morning segment called Coffee Shots for my gaming stuff. It's great, but I've been kind of putting that on hold for a little while. Things that I told you I wanted to address here are these structures. I'm going to put my transparency overlay because I want to go ahead and in the CMYK gamut, I'm going to go ahead and start trying these a little more crystalline and see if my guy, who's pretty affable, like he is a pretty great guy, that is awesome. He's one of my favorite clients to work with because he just kind of lets me do my thing. We're gonna try and start adding some crystalline structure into here, so you see how we've changed that. Now it's got some rigid blue, right? Well, it's all though. Back and maybe we'll hit it with like some of these off greens too, just to kind of make sure that's in gamut. It is. It's fine. Shift F5. Oop. What we're going for right here. I'm going to save a new iteration of this real quick. What we're going for right here is we're just looking to play with that might be too blue. That darker blue that we used might be a little too blue. But we're gonna kind of let's back this up a little bit. Let's back this up. Let's go with the base blue. we got the filter on, so let's go with a base blue, and we're gonna use the round on. Got that going right there. I'm gonna start coming in with some crystalline picks. So. Yo, who's hitting that? Tina! Thanks so much, dear. How you doing? How you doing? You can see we're starting to like really focus on the crystalline structure of this guy right here. This is kind of my experimental one. This guy right here. And what we can do is that once we've added these kind of like these white highlight rim lights and lines, we get too far into detail here, but what we can do is we can start using these to make different planes. So, for instance, right here, I can pick that and make it a facet. Here, saying, okay, maybe I want to do that, but maybe I want to go like a deeper greenish color. Different feel to that plane. And then I'm going to go ahead and include that here. No, on Facebook says, good, nice to see you doing art. Thanks, babe. Appreciate you. Miss your face. Gotta do coffee soon for sure. Been far too long since I've seen you, my dear. Come over to the blue side of things too, and we're just going to go ahead and start with these kind of micro facets. Like I said, I wanted to see how this would look. I think it's going to be pretty dope. That's outside of gamut. See that exclamation point? I want to kind of stay off of that, so I want to get right in here. Yeah, that'd be great. I would love for you to actually get a chance to meet Crystal. My lady. We can do dinner sometime or something like that. Maybe I'll put on a ramen feed and I'll just invite a whole bunch of friends. That'd be kind of fun. You know how I like to cook. When I get the chance. Of course, that's as soon as I'm done with the training at the new job. Holy shit. Oh my god, oh my god. Let's get that going. It's on. There we go. think that looks dope. I think that looks really cool. What do you guys think? Miss my potato salad. Ooh, we could be grilling. Oh my gosh, I miss potato salad too, and it's cheap to make. Right now, cheap is good. Yeah, that's what I need to do is make a potato salad. I was gonna go out to Aldi real quick here as soon as I'm done with this, which won't be too much longer. I don't know. I think that looks good. I like that crystalline effect we got going here. Maybe add a few more little dark zones. I'm feeling it. I'm here for it, as one of my coworkers at my new job says. Go ahead and hit that deep blue. Yeah. And then I might go ahead and kind of do a form on the sides, so we get like a yes, like, can you imagine those shards hitting the buildings? Like, especially if we made them. I'm gonna go a little bit bigger on this guy. Let's blow this shit up and see what we got. Transform, option, bigger. Bigger! That one, unfortunately, what is just occurring to me is like this was an experimental piece, so like if we go down here, that piece isn't going to be seen, but we'll add another big chunk or two coming out at this angle, and maybe up and maybe just a one sliver coming across the snout, because it's, you know, it's coming out of his mouth toward you, the viewer, as well. So I definitely want to go ahead and hit that up too. But this was a really great experimental, like, okay, so what can we do to make this look not just like flat white flecks of energy or whatever. We're gonna leave this ball white, I think that's important, but I do want to have a couple like larger pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and cut in a few more. Turn off this transparency filter quick here. Just a few more pieces. White first, and then we will get one cutting across the snout. I want to get rid of too much detail. This do be important, like. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so we're not losing very much information. I might shrink this down or move it a little bit. Can't really go past the snout line, but the white is graphic and it's big and it pops forward, but I really like the crystalline structure. Maybe I can get my client to tune in real quick here and kind of get in on this. Probably only have like half an hour more that I should do this, because I've got to go to Aldi. I've got a few other things I gotta do. Yep. Bulbs. Then, hey Matt, working on the gun. And you tune in, not time, tune to a beam. Quick. Alright, man. Back to you, buddy. Or Fabian, or whoever else is like helping out over there, Jeremy, or whoever. Oh no, no speakers on your computer. Okay, well, hold on, guys. He doesn't have speakers on his computer. He's watching, but he's not in there. Okay, buddy, you can comment in the chat if you like. But I just wanted to see what your thoughts were on that kind of crystalline structure I've added to the ice for the dragon. I think it's going to be good, just not leaving it white, but I wanted your opinion. There we go. Sounds good. Sorry guys, this is important too. Ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of the art is in the building. I'm super excited about that. I love the fact that he watches and like hangs out with me. It's weird though because it tells me I don't have a lot of viewers on right now, but oops, look at that. So I don't know if you can see it, Matt, but it's right here. We all like the crystal look on the breath. Cool, 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 cool. I always forget that Matt has some other people helping. Can't put the kind of like the voting on the design choices and stuff. So I'm glad that he conferred with his cool colleagues, if you will. So once we go ahead, I'll highlight that. Like I'll highlight the whites and stuff and get that going. So it's going to be a little bit more detailing. Oops. A little bit more detailing, but that's okay. Like it's going to be worth it in the end for sure. Come in here with a little bit of heights to kind of structure our facets. Make it look neat as shit. Again, Matt is gonna have to, and I'll let him know this. Manage expectations. Our white is not a true white. It's gonna be kind of a metallic gray, a lighter metallic gray. So these will still pop against the colors that we have here. But one of the things that we're really looking at too is making sure that we have enough contrast between things that you can actually see a difference. Thanks for your opinion, man. I really appreciate you. Cool. All right. Dope. Nice to know that we are in the right direction too. My guys, just up in my chat, let me know. So push it to a little more blue here. So with this being said, well, one of the things we might do is we had a blue glow around the white, but what we might end up doing is we might change that to a white glow around the blue. So if I change that and I look at that right now, glow, go here, go white, see how that looks. See, I mean that changes everything. These crystal instructions right here really get to look very cool, very detailed, and start to actually come together very, very nicely. So I am excited about that. And some of these I'm going to leave slightly less detailed than the others for very obvious reasons. Allows us to show differences. We can do like a baseline green on this one, right? But then go ahead and take this and I can go, okay, now we're gonna go all the way up into the blue spectrum and go here and go boop, boop, boop. You know, show some differences there, and then kind of work our way to a lighter. Make sure it's in gamut. Radically over to here. Again, making sure it's in gamut. Getting a little tinier with it. All that detail is going to be great for the faceting. Once we're done faceting, call it. Brush real quick, and then we're gonna kind of just follow some of those lines. Again, a lot of this detail may or may not show in selection, because what ends up happening, of course, is that this is going to be put on something much smaller, well, about 50% smaller, and then it's going to be dropped onto a substrate that's a little bit gray because it's a metallic substrate. And so some of this detail goes away, some of it stays. Thanks for the likes on the stream. I do appreciate you, Matt Finn. Appreciate your comments. We all like the look of the crystal on the rep. Tina, thank you so much too. About 20-30 more minutes here. Wrap this up so that I can get some trees, all that other fun stuff. You know, and there's lots of opportunity to add like kind of dimensionality to this piece, which I think is great too. Let me go ahead and get that. Now we've kind of introduced Use this darker blue right here, right? And it kind of gives it that squared off look. And then we're gonna go ahead and come over here. Maybe this is the underside of it. So we go, it's over here, like there. We're gonna go, okay. Well, so the underside's gonna have that green right there. Again, I don't want to get too detailed on this. This is a smaller chunk of crystal that we do need. I am easily sucked into these things, that's for sure. Do a little overlay action. Guys, once again, you're joining Artifact Gaming and Art. This is definitely some of our art segment for that. We usually do a little bit of gaming, a little bit of art, a little bit of everything, a little bit of both. A little bit of both. Lately, I've been doing a little bit of Fortnite with the family. We did a family Fortnite last night for just about an hour or so. Nothing crazy. My brother up in Alaska, where I'm from, he plays a little bit of that. Not mainly my forte. I need to get into some Apex Legends, maybe some Call of Duty, and all that stuff. But right now I'm focused on my job and this, my two jobs. Definitely my favorite things. It's a good thing too, because otherwise I'd be kind of hating life right now. But I gotta cook breakfast for the kiddo. Oop, out of gamut. See that? Pull it back. But let's get some more blue. There's blue. Out of gamut again. Be very careful about that. Yeah, I'm digging it. Digging it for sure. It's a little flat right here, so we're gonna kind of come back in and that up. A little messier. Line variation too on these white lines. Make sure they're not all the same size, shape. And they're looking crispy. Good. For sure. All right, let's get a couple more. They do take a little bit of time, so I'm gonna go ahead and start baselining these with a little bit of urgency here. A sense of urgency is required. 55. So we're starting with these, and then we're gonna go ahead and come in with color shift here, go whiter. Yo, Carl Hill, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see. Hope you've been good, my friend. Something for Paintball Wizard up in here. Appreciate the like on the stream, brother. Appreciate you very much. Slightly out of gamut, but it'll be okay. Too much. Let's see if we can't push that back here. Still not enough. Here. Alright, and again, these strokes down here aren't going to show up. I am going to come in and do those a little bit as well. Any coffee left? No, of course not. No more coffee. Matt Romney, thank you very much for the like on the stream as well. Appreciate you, appreciate you. I was looking to share this to some paintball pages. If anybody's watching and they wanted to share it out to paintball pages, that would be a huge help to me. I just don't have the time to like manage sharing out everything and doing all of this. And you can auto share stuff, but it only allows you to do 3 different groups. And usually, because I've done a lot of gaming content, it's sharing in those groups and not these ones, which is unfortunate, but it is kind of what it is. So to kind of speed things up here, I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, kind of group these out. So, darker. You can see it's really starting to come together. Got the crystalline structure going through here. We're going to do this guy up here. We can see super important. Probably do 3 or 4 of these, 3 or 4 of these, and then the other ones we're probably going to leave as non-distinct. So we have a variation and we're not confusing the eye as to where it should go. Super, super important when you're doing artwork like this. So guys, again, this is Artifact Gaming and Art. Right now we're on an art binge. We're going to keep going on this for a little bit. 10:30. Like I said, I've got some groceries to do, so can't go too far. But we're going to get this guy and at least 2 or 3 more, and then probably good for right now. can get to be a little bit labor intensive, but totally worth it. Totally worth it. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Get some planner differences right there. Oh, model reacts. Nice. You know what? I'm gonna put a screenshot up on Twitter real quick here. Bear with me. All right, back to the art. Back to the art, folks. Three or four more, so we can do this last one here. Change it up a little bit and kind of draw the white lines first. Give me some guidance on this last one. Maybe not so cyan. Let's go like that. Dodge. Oh no. We've ran through both of our playlists. So start back on the fantasy one. So I don't think anybody's been watching for the whole time, so I don't think it's really super important or matters. But yeah, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna save that. We're gonna go back in and do a few more in the outer kind of areas here. Nothing. We're not gonna do all of them though, because again, like I said, it's definitely one of those things where you don't want to confuse the eye too much. We also might get rid of a few things here just to kind of lower any levels of confusion as well. I think it's important to have both. But that's looking really, really good. About 10:40 in the morning. I haven't really done any breakfast or anything like that, so I'm gonna cook breakfast for my family. We gotta go to Aldi. We gotta get ready for work. I got things to do. You guys probably are already doing stuff, so I hope you guys have a great day. I have really enjoyed hanging out with you guys today. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. So go back over the paintball gun itself. Now that we kind of have a better idea of what we're doing, we really have made a lot of progress here. We did the dragon silhouette right here with the wings. Maybe make these wings a little bit bigger. We'll see how we do. If we can like hold them in so they're coming into this area right here, probably do that. Indication of the legs, segmentation's better. Everything's looking better as far as silhouette is concerned, but we are going to be lighting and detailing that and kind of making it more consistent with the rest of the drawing. Also be ice blasting the rest of this city right here. Probably won't be using the exact same crystalline effect for the background because we do want a difference between the background and the foreground. So these are really going to stand off once we do that. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and place that. How about that? How about that? I'm going to go ahead and place this right now. So window, arrange, tile vertically. Grab our group really quick here, bring it over, set it up, close this window, say close, yes, okay. See how gigantic it is compared to the other one. Transform, edit, transform, flip horizontal, boom. Here, bring this guy down a little bit. The same neighborhood as the other one. I'm using the tip of that nose as guiding area. Here, this one. Cool. So I can already see a challenge with this, but it's not going to be that big of a deal. We have to try and find a way. We may move where this light highlight is in this background so that these crystals stand off just a little bit better. I'm going to push this guy back just a hair or two because we really want to be able to see as much of that crystal instruction as possible. So we may move that. We also might be lighting slightly differently once we do that. And again, we'll probably readdress the background too, like background colors. But we've got a general idea that I like for the most part. We're going to go ahead and grab our dragon group, just scoot him down a bit. Feel like super important to ability here. Okay, I think that's gonna be good right there. up just a hair. Right at the edge of the do not put detail here zones. Okay, so most of the Dragonite is avoiding all of the detail zones. I'm happy about that. Down here is not going to be important because that's what's covered up by a gun handle for foregrip. I'm not sure what's going on here, but that's not really detailed either. So I think we're really well set. I think we need to work on cloud detailing. We need to work on getting the city ice blasted and possibly change its tone so it vanishes into the background a little bit more. Right now it's really not hitting that, and that's okay. On that, we did get this a little bit done. We did get some more crystallization like done into the ice structures here. I think that's gonna look dope as shit. So yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this goes. We're working a little bit more just to get all the right contrasts and all the right things done. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. I will talk to you later. Love you. Bye.